lanes, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capping space. I won't stop till I hear him say,
woo, welcome back. We're back with Ready to Love, Philadelphia edition, season 10, episode 11, Convict Curveball. Oh my God, Convict Curveball. Did you hear that, JR? El Cid, did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
How are you guys doing today?
All good, thank you. All good.
JR.
Doing good. I didn't know convicts threw curveballs, but okay.
Exactly, right?
I don't think it's the convict that threw the curveball. It's the person that has a child with the convict that is now the curveball.
Too many convicts out here in these Ready to Love streets.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Babs, how you doing? How's everybody? So wait a minute. First of all, we got to do this. Okay, El Cid, what's the weather like where you are?
The weather here isn't too bad. I have been outside one time. It must be 80 something. Yeah, 81. I just looked it up. It's 81.
Okay. Okay, and you, JR, what's it like there?
Today was a very hot day. Summertime. Pretty much.
Summertime. Woo.
Yeah, like a late Indian summer or something.
Oh, okay. Are you rested up yet, JR?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Well rested enough to do this. That's for sure.
Well rested enough to do this. Okay. All right. Here in the Detroit, it is a scorching 68 degrees. I say jokingly and sarcastically. We've already entered into fall already, and it is not even fall yet. We've got 2-3 more weeks before it's fall. What's going on? What is going on? Wait a minute. Oh, Babs says it's cool. It's getting cool here too. Ready for fall. Snuggle weather, or as they say, Babs, sweater weather, right? Everybody getting ready for sweater weather. JR, El Cid?
Nah, not really. Not me.
Or cuffing season.
Oh, cuffing season. Now I'm ready for that. Cuffing season. Okay. All right. Why not? Why are you not ready for sweater weather, JR? What's going on?
I prefer warm weather.
Me too.
Yeah, so we're not really planning to get the jumper and jackets out yet.
Okay. So, JR, tell me, what did you think of this wild episode with the convict curveball?
It was an okay episode. I didn't, I know the Rose situation is drama, but other than that, it was okay. It was okay. Didn't really hit as much as I thought it would, but it was all good.
Yeah, and El Cid, is it me or did I confuse her confessional where she told us about her convict ex, or did I confuse something? Did she not tell anybody else this season?
No.
She didn't tell anybody else. She told us. You're right. She told us. We knew.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess at some point I confused that with, I thought she had told, Hussein. Like what I really did. I really thought she had told him. But apparently she had not. She had not told him.
Nope.
So
why do you think that was? Why do you think she didn't tell him?
You know what? As I'm watching the episode, I'm thinking maybe she was really like, she's kind of like, she shut down about that whole situation with him being incarcerated. I think so. And I think she's embarrassed. What do you think?
I'll go with the latter part of what you said. I think she's embarrassed or ashamed of it, that,
Hmm.
because she knows it would affect how they view her. Why? Because as much as they may have a connection with her, sooner or later this guy may be released and may want access to his child, or may want to have contact with her regarding the child and all these different things, and it will add more drama to the relationship and what some of you guys are actually wanting to put up with.
I had not thought of that. I had not thought of it that way because she does point out that the kid is 17, so he's practically a young adult. Does that make a
But
difference, like, to you?
no, because she still shares a child with someone else. So at functions, at birthdays, at weddings, at funerals, this guy could turn up, and we don't know if there's an amicable relationship with him and Rose. Don't know how hostile it is. We don't know if she knew him when he was doing badness and decided to get with him anyway, or if it's something that he did while they were in a relationship together and she didn't know. So we don't know none of that.
No, no, we don't. What Elsie? What do you think? Why do you think she kept this information to herself?
Because she knew she'd be judged. She knew she'd be judged. There's no way you can, even if your son is an adult, there's no way anyone coming into your life is not going to ask you about his father. So the only reason you don't say it is because you will be judged. And anyone you bring it into your life, all of that is a part of your life. Even if you don't want it to be, even whatever, we don't know who she is. She could be Erica Badu, working honest, but it pays the bills. Or she could be a see you next lifetime. We don't know what that man's thought process is when he's going to come around and have a relationship with his adult son. So again, it's an embarrassment. It definitely is. And I wonder how people don't understand how it will be an embarrassment. It's okay that she has no contact with him. She allows him to have contact with his child. That is very admirable, because guess what? She got to pay them, collect call phone fees for his dad to be calling him and talking to him. So it's
Yeah.
not completely out of her life.
It's almost as if he doesn't see his father. I mean, it's not, from the way she seems so detached from the whole situation. Does anybody else get that impression? Elsie, do you get that impression at all?
I mean, who's going down to the jail to go through all that to see him? We don't know where he's being held either. Philadelphia ain't got but so many jails.
Oh, like, yeah, it could be. I know some people I know here, they have to travel like 5 hours to
Right.
up the UP in Michigan, which is a whole bridge. You have to cross water to get there, so it's like 5 hours.
Right. Everybody isn't like, Atlanta here. You don't have to go through all that, because, they do it through, a video and a phone. So you don't have to go through all that pat down and all that stuff. You go somewhere and you make the call on a, video visit, in a controlled space.
Yeah. Well, you know what? To go to Africa, she has an interesting concept. She says that she may have felt that she hadn't got close enough to any of them within these few weeks to disclose that information. Like, maybe she really didn't have a reason to do so.
Yeah, but just like the other young lady disclosed it, that would be the perfect segue.
Kiera.
Hussein says, Kiera, thank you, JR. That would be the perfect segue. You have one of those? I have incarcerated, father my child too. It would be the perfect way to segue and say it as well, and kind of mitigate the blow instead of telling him in front of his family, showing that he don't know this woman.
Yeah, that's the part. And then the thing of it is, well, if she doesn't know the guys that she's talking to well enough to tell them in a few weeks, why is she telling us? Why is she telling the audience that she doesn't know at all?
And even more so, if she doesn't know them well enough, then they don't know her well enough either. So why should they commit to choosing her for a relationship if they don't really know something so important to her life, you know? And at the end of the day, I think the guys did actually say when Kiera's situation did come out, that would have been a perfect time to pull them to the side, the people she's attracted to, obviously, and let them know. Also, she was rooming with Hussein on the retreat. So how much closer do you need to be?
Yeah, I don't know. It looks bad for her because the thing of it is, if she wasn't going to give and like be all into the process, then what was the point? What was the whole point of the show of her coming on?
But to answer, to go to Africa, Kiera wasn't close to everybody, but everybody knew that the father of her child was incarcerated. So I understand if Rose may not feel comfortable enough to tell them, but it's going to be on national television anyway because she told the confessional. But
Right.
Kiera told, everybody knew from Kiera, not just Jay.
Exactly. And maybe Kiera telling her situation would have taken the sting, a little bit of the sting out of Rose's situation, because now she's not alone in having that dynamic. So she could have, she could have done that, but she chose not to, obviously, and she paid for that at the end.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about it is though, too, you've got to maturity and relationships, I think, require maturity and vulnerability. So the vulnerability piece for her was allowing the two guys that she was seeing for at least for the show anyway, the period of time that she was seeing them, would have been to allow them to know this about her. Because at the end of the day, whether you're judged poorly, whether you're not judged at all, it's not really about their reaction. It's about this piece, I think, about being vulnerable, allowing yourself to be vulnerable and seeing what comes from that. Because if a man doesn't accept you for whatever reason, and these reasons are factual in your life, like, this is my job, this is my ex, and anything that's factual, then you don't need them. They're clearly not going to be in your life. But at the same time, you've done the right thing by being vulnerable and being honest and factual. And then the whole other piece is if she wasn't going to admit it to him, why would you admit it to his family in front of him?
Yeah, exactly. Because like El Cid said, it gives the impression that you don't even know your woman, and you're introducing us to her. So yeah, these guys just seem like they don't want drama, right? You can't have it both ways. You can't want these guys to be upstanding citizens making, good money or whatever, or in good professions at least, and then expect them to not be surprised or want to entertain someone who's doing a 6 or 7 year stretch, or even more, could be even more than that, depending on what he's done. They don't want to be associated with that.
Now, here's the catch-22. Thank you for saying that, JR. So the men don't want to deal with this.
No.
But Taye wants to deal with Cisco.
He's not a convict.
Ladies, we got to have some real strict boundaries like these men are having.
Yeah, if Cisco was a crook, then of course, but he ain't. He ain't got a house and a car.
Yeah, he's not. He's not. But this thing, this thing with Cisco, like, why is it that he seems so surprised that it keeps coming up? It hasn't changed, and I really honestly don't see why Taye is even dating him, except that this is a dating show. So now, then I have to question whether this whole thing is real with her and him.
Cisco, I don't understand why Taye's interested in Cisco at all. He's not going to be ready for a child in the timeline that she's talking about.
Exactly.
He doesn't have the house and car that everybody knows about. So other than the way he looks and how he makes her feel, I don't see anything else. But she may value how he looked and how he makes her feel over everything else. So
She
that's the only
may.
thing that makes sense to me.
She very well may. She very well may. So the guys are seated and they're in the gentleman's lounge, and we know that this week will be their week to determine which lady is not ready to love, right? Tommy gives them some advice and an assignment. He wants the men to introduce their lady or ladies, as the case may be, Cam, to their family members, right?
Wait a minute. Hussein too? He got ladies.
Oh, yep. Hussein too. Correct. You had any thoughts about this scene, Elsid?
Why is it Hussein and Cam are the only ones like decently dressed for this vault, shindig? I'm sorry. I looked at that. The ladies always come dressed to impress. And week after week, I see a few men coming, dressed for the occasion. But yes, they have to make some decisions. Some have, decisions to make, and some, just have to weed through the one person that they are connected to. And we'll get there because I have lots to say about their visits.
They were interesting, weren't they? Okay. JR, anything to say about this scene of the men in the uh, gentleman's lounge and getting ready to go for their task of introducing their lady or ladies to their family members?
Not really, other than Cam. I don't know what Cam's doing. I don't know what his strategy is, his game plan or anything. He's got far too many connections at this stage of the process. And he seems to be stringing all of the women along. Everyone that gets in front of him, he's like, yeah, you're my top connection. And I feel away because of this, that, the other. So other than Cam having as many connections he does, nothing else really stood out to me like that. There was a bit of I was looking for Cisco's reaction, to be honest, because Cisco's situation. It's gonna when she meets his family, there's going to be some questions that she may need to ask that would further delve into the background of why Cisco's situation is what it is.
Okay. Yeah. I think that this is like where the rubber really hits the road this week, where we got to the elimination. I think that the family meeting the ladies was a good idea. Oh, wait a minute. What's this? I hope Taye does a criminal background check before she chooses Cisco. Why? What's going on to go to Africa? What's going on there? I want to know. Maybe there's
It
more
don't
to.
matter. It don't matter. Anybody should be doing criminal background checks on the people they're dating.
That's what I think. I mean, I think it's like in this day and age, like I have seen the last couple of days on just YouTube alone, not to even mention local Detroit news. I have seen so many women being unalived by guys that they just met or guys that they've known for a short period of time. And I'm like, that just seems to be common sense. People got to stop thinking that just because you see somebody's picture online, on social media, or you see their page, like you actually know them. You don't know them. You have no idea who these people are. Hey, Mimi. So the guys, they had their gentlemen's meeting, and we're gonna go on ahead and get into the dates that they actually did do, and they had. We got Jay and his family, which I don't know, guys. I don't know how you feel, but I really love their cookout. I love this whole vibe of the cookout. It was like a whole big family there, the father, the mother, the auntie, the brother. It was just a really nice vibe with the cookout. What did you think, JR?
Yeah, it was. Parents have been married for 25 years, I think he said.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
They seemed very cool, very welcoming. Yeah, they laid out a nice environment for her, and they.
Yeah, they did. They did. What did you think about the mom telling her after they explained that they had some conflict at the getaway? What did you think about the mom saying that, Kiera needed to not go into herself and to stay communicative with her son? What did you think
Yeah,
about that there?
she's absolutely right. I mean, silent treatment creates chasms. You know, what's she going to do every time there's a conflict? Turn her back and stop talking to him and all this stuff. So she should heed that advice. The mom and dad have been together a long time. So if they're expressing that communication is the way forward, then Kiera should really listen to that. I doubt whether she's going to change based on that advice, but it is sensible advice in my opinion.
Okay. And Elsa, what did you think about the advice given?
I think she said it way gentler than I would have, because, here's the thing. It's much better for her to be quiet than to her to be yelling and snapping at him. Okay? But here's the other phase of it. You can't just be quiet. You have to be able to rein in your emotions and have a conversation. He cannot mind read, and you have to be able to talk about what was wrong and how can we do better going forward. Or you're just going to sit and stew. And you know how long stew takes to cook. Okay? So mom is like, she ain't telling her to snap out of it. That's how I would be. But it's more of, take your time, go, shadow box in a corner and come back when you can have an adult conversation about this. This is a man you're dating. He does not know your boundaries, what your expectations are. You need to be able to articulate it and not in the bed facing the wall.
Yeah, she did do that, didn't she?
Right. And this whole thing, the Kiera there, I was like, mama, auntie, they sugarcoating who Kiera is. If you see the scene, I'm sure y'all would have a lot more to say. But that auntie, I have a few aunties like that, and I love them. Absolutely love them. And I'm working on getting my ID card to be an auntie just like that.
I know, right? And here's the auntie sitting over here on the right end of this of the table here on the right side. Auntie, yeah, she gonna say what she feel and what she feels she gonna say. What did you think, JR, about auntie?
I think Elsa hit on a very valid point. If they had seen the scene, how it played out, there were times where Kiera was going off. And then there were times where she was given the silent treatment too. But none of that resolves the conflict, So she had to not necessarily get over it, but she had to articulate herself in a way to try and resolve and move forward in the relationship. If she's not prepared to do that, then evidently it's not going to work. No point shutting down. And every time Jay came to apologize, you didn't want to hear it. You weren't receptive. So yeah, Kiera, obviously, they've got through it now, but it keeps on being brought up. And it's going to be interesting to see if Kiera can at least take that advice, but we won't know until reunion, probably.
Can we talk about that backyard?
Yeah, let's talk about the backyard.
Can we talk how Jay definitely has come from a middle-income family? Because that backyard ain't nothing to sneeze about in Philadelphia.
It sure isn't.
Look at that pool. Look at the stonework. And if y'all see that on the other side, there was the whole barbecue area built into like a wall. This ain't no slouch, okay? So I'm telling you, Jay is a financial advisor as well. He has some coin taking care of his two kids. And now looking at his family, I'm looking at Jay and I'm understanding Jay a little bit more.
Right. So in other words, you're saying he looks like he comes from good stock, right?
No, he doesn't look it, but he does come from good stock. I'm
Now you
sorry,
know
y'all.
what? You are halfway there to the auntie card right there. That was hilarious and very raw because I didn't think he looked it either.
Uh,
Just
He look
so
exactly that,
impressed.
very raw. If you look at Jay, you're gonna think when you look at Jay, just look at him, you think maybe the hood, okay? But when Jay starts to speak to you, you're like, okay, not fully hood, but got a little rough around the edges. But now I'm looking at this with the way Kiara speaks and says she too was, she more, expresses more hood than Jay would. I'm like, I wonder if he was raised in more wealth than he was.
Mm.
Than she was. I'm sorry, because she likes to say she treated like a princess and all that stuff. But I'm like,
Yeah,
mhm.
yeah.
but we don't know if this is how Jay was raised, or if this is his parents' retirement home. We don't know. But I'm saying, look at his brother. Look at how his brother's dressed too. Again, this is a very middle income family, and looking at the surroundings in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Dad could be a retired, public servant, retired fire person, retired police officer. Mom could be a retired teacher, and they could be living well like this. I'm just saying, Jay, Jay ain't come up through the hood that Will Smith had to run from and went to Bel Air.
Mm. Uh, to go to Africa says, whose house is that? Was it the aunties or was it the parents? I'm assuming that it was the parents. What do you think, El said?
I thought it was the parents.
Mm-hmm. I thought so.
You know, I, yeah, I thought it was the parents.
Mm-hmm. JR. JR, what?
Yeah, I thought it was the parents' house. It's hard to tell. They didn't actually disclose it, but everybody looked comfortable, so I'm assuming it's the
Yeah.
parents' house.
Yeah, I thought so. I mean, you don't know, but I don't know. I get I'm like El Cid. I do think that it's the parents' house. I'm not sure why the auntie would necessarily have to host it at her house. Crucial J has a question or a comment, and I want to get you guys feedback on it. He says that I feel like Jay is being judged because of his acne and his skin condition.
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I you say yeah. Okay, explain, clarify that, JR.
By the viewers, yeah, you've been judged the whole season. Like people been making comments about Jay's looks since the season started. You know, how can he have such strong opinions looking the way he does? That type of comment.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that, but okay. If that's what you've
I
seen
have.
that, JR. Okay.
Yep.
All right. I believe you. What about you, El Cid? Have you seen comments where you felt like Jay was being judged because of his skin condition?
It ain't the skin condition. It's them braids. It's them
That's what.
braids.
Thank you. Thank you.
It.
That's what I feel he's being judged for.
I
If
need
that's
Jay to do something with the end of those braids. I need them to be tucked in. I need
mm-hmm,
somebody to add it and give him like a row down the back to keep them tucked in, because them ends of them braids is just sticking out. And I know why. When you put on your do-rag, Jay, and you
mm-hmm.
tie it up, the ends aren't properly tucked in. And so they just spread
Ah,
however they want to because of how you tie them up in the do-rag. I need you to just tuck it into the row. Just tuck it into the row. It looks so neat and good, but it's them braids. That's
that's
why people are
it.
looking at him, because of the ends
That's
of them braids sticking out.
that's what it is. It looks unkempt. It looks unkempt like that.
Yeah, it looks like he doesn't regularly get his hair braided, right? But again, it's still his appearance. So it's like you never judge a book by its cover anyway. This is a perfect example of that.
Yes,
You
he
know,
is.
if we
He is
didn't,
a perfect
if
example.
Well,
yeah,
Mimi is
exactly.
on our team. El said. Mimi says, "Nope, it's not the acne. It's not the skin condition, guys. Nope." Bab says it's definitely the hair more so than the skin.
Mm. What could be
And
fixed easier, the hair or the skin?
the hair, obviously, yeah, I think the hair,
Right. So
yeah.
right. So he gets a fresh set of braids done.
Oh,
And how does that affect his the way people are going to view him.
I don't know, but listen to this, JR. Motown investor says, I judge him because he never married his child's mother and they were together for 11 years. Ooh. What you say to that, JR?
He actually spoke about that earlier on in a few episodes back.
What did he say? I don't recall.
Yeah. So the relationship was on and off and got tumultuous at some point, and then it eventually ended. So
Okay.
getting married isn't the solution for every relationship.
No, absolutely it isn't. But then too, having children may not be either.
Yeah, but if
So
you're going to bring them up in a toxic environment where it's constant arguing, bickering, back and forth, all that type of stuff, it may not be beneficial to marry just for the sake of it.
Yeah, I that's a good question, but I think you're right though. So I think it's more the hair. Some people are also saying maybe if he were had a more clean cut look or clean cut hairstyle. Um, I mean, people can say they don't judge, but I think all of us, I think it's to me, it feels like it's human nature for us to make some type of determination about people based on how they dressed, how they speak, how they carry themselves. Now, you may get to know them further along and find out some of the things that you first initially thought might be true are not true, but it's how you categorize the world that you live in order to make sense of it.
Now, don't get me wrong. Jay's the type of brother I would have dated. Again, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Jay is unattractive. He is very much attractive. You
I
know,
think
I
so.
don't notice his acne. I notice what other people would notice his braids, but he just as rough around the edges as I would, like at the time of my dating years. Jay, of all the men there, Jay to me is, more of a possibility than, the others. I'm just saying.
Well, guys, I got a question for you. I got a question for everybody in the audience as well as the panel. Have you liked the video yet? Have you subscribed? Are you a subscriber? I just want
Yes
to
and
know.
yes.
I'm just checking. I
Yes
didn't hear
and
anything.
yes.
I
Me
didn't hear
too.
anything from JR. Oh yeah, JR. Oh, there you go. Okay. All right. All right. It's on you viewers now. It's on you people out there in the chat. Subscribe, like the video. Um, so yeah, I think that this is the last thing I think I'm gonna say about this particular scene is that did everybody catch the fact that when they asked Kiera about, her siblings, and she said that she was the only child on her mom's side, that the ladies both went, "Oh, so you're spoiled, huh?" Did you catch that, Elsie?
Yeah, I caught that, and they were throwing shade on him too.
Yeah, yeah, that he was spoiled. He said, "Oh, he
Right.
said I used to be spoiled." He said, "Used to be."
And
So
the
that,
daddy look at the mama like, exactly who spoiled him?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's usually the mama. It's usually the mama with that son. Mm-hmm. What about you, JR? Did you catch that? What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, Kiera said she gets princess treatment, right? So she admitted she was being spoiled she's been spoiled as a youngster. Does that carry over into her relationships though? Does she expect to be spoiled there too? That would be interesting to see.
Mm. What do you think? Do you think, I mean, and this is for both the panelists, what do you think when someone is been spoiled in their childhood growing up? Do you think that oftentimes that continues into early adulthood, young adulthood, or all the way through life?
I feel judged. Okay, as an only child on the panel, I feel judged.
Well, two of the three of us are only children, so what can I say? I feel judged too. And yes, it's true. I like to be spoiled. I'm sorry. Well, I don't think now here's the thing that I've observed. This is my thinking. is that as an only child, I've observed that people who are the youngest child in a family of whatever size of siblings, whether it be 3 siblings or 5 siblings or 10, the youngest is also typically spoiled, quote unquote.
Yep, that definitely happens.
Mm-hmm.
Only
And
child, youngest child.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And,
Mhm.
and and I find that while people are busy arguing and debating about astrological signs, I find that as an only child, I do better with men who are the eldest in their family of siblings. So I don't know if anybody else has observed that, but that's how it works for me. Like typically, if I'm attracted to a man, I'm attracted to his vibe. Is not too much longer before I find out that he's the eldest of 4 or 3 or 10 or whatever. So there's just like we're more simpatical that way. Has anybody else observed that or any other type of birth order situations? Thank you, JR.
No, no birth order situations because I've dated the gamut. Only child, middle child, youngest child. My husband is technically his mother's only child, but he was raised in a foster home, so
Hmm.
he was one of many. So he doesn't have that. So and he wasn't the youngest or the oldest. So I haven't for me it's like don't be spoiled or wretched. That's it. Don't be spoiled. But I don't see only children as spoiled. I just think that all of our family's resources were at our disposal. That's how I see it. It's not spoiled.
Okay, if you say so.
And
If you
also,
say so.
um, also the behavior you're hoping doesn't manifest into spoiled brat behavior.
No.
That sense of entitlement, gimme, 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 because I'm special and I'm used to being spoiled, so you have to live up to that too.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think that you're right. I love what Bab says out there. She says it's all about balance. I think that's kind of where El Cid was going. Is that correct, El Cid? Am I reading that right or
It
no?
depends on how you balance things. Some people balance, some people tip the scales, and it's still kind of balanced.
Right, exactly. To go to Africa and even the males. I mean, in a responsible, balanced family. Again, like I said, I think the men that I've dated that are the eldest are yeah, they're very much caregivers. They're very much leaders in that sense. So I don't know that's just what I find. I that's how I feel about it. So Bab
Oh,
says I'm usually attracted and am attracted to the oldest of the siblings. And as long as being spoiled is reciprocated in a relationship, she feels that there's nothing wrong with it. That's right, Babs. Fist bump, air bump. So yeah, don't
no,
be
not the caretaker, not the oldest child caretaker. No, 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 no. I
no.
guess I prefer the personality of the middle child that just blazes through stuff.
Mm,
So, you know. Yes, you
mm,
can be caring, but out in the world in the wild it's like you blazing through stuff. So, I don't know.
mm-hmm. Yeah, but now okay, so now getting back to the actual show, do we feel how do you guys feel that Kiera, how has it manifested itself in Kiera? Because we know that she's the only child on her mother's side. Do you feel like we've seen some type of forms of entitlement from this edited show, JR?
No, other than the tantrum she threw, no.
Okay. Okay. And what about you, El Cid?
Um I think in some regard I would like to know how she addressed him about not embarrassing me on the trip, because it seems like I done told you not to embarrass me. We had this talk, and that's where it kind of like comes out for me, but we haven't seen it. That's why I'm thinking, how was that discussion, you know, how did that discussion take place?
Mm-hmm.
Because she very much here with the parents, giving a very good facade. But we
Hmm.
know, we know that that ain't all of Kiera.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay. So then for our next date, we have Hussein and we have Rose. And he has his brother and his cousin. They come in. She comes in and greets him. She looks lovely in her lavender, I think. And the brother and the cousin begin to kind of grill her. And we get to the part where they're grilling her and they're basically saying, well, so do you have any children? And she says, yes, I have a 17-year-old son. And they say, okay, that's great. What is your relationship like with your your son's father? And she said, oh, I don't have one. I don't have a relationship with him. And she kind of throws her hands up. And then they say, well, what about your son? What is, and she says, well, he's 17, so I don't have to keep up with any of that. And I think they might have asked him. I don't know. It seems to me like maybe there's some editing, some things edited out, because finally she kind of just blurts out and says, well, my son's father's incarcerated. And everybody's like, huh? Say what now? Including Hussein, who's like, you ain't told me about that part. What did you think about this scene, JR?
Yeah, Hussein looked like he had to double take. He's like, what? Caught him completely off guard. Yes, he seemed like he was expecting to have been told something about that situation for the amount of time they've been spending together. They roomed at the retreat. They've been each other's connections for a while. And we had Kiera's situation happen earlier on in the season where she disclosed her situation to everyone. So, Hussein seemed very taken aback. And then the other thing is, even though she says that she doesn't have a relationship with the baby's father, the child's father, it's not a baby anymore. At some point she must have, because if he's 17, he's been inside for 6-7 years. The child was 10. So there must have been some involvement either before in the previous 10 years or, when did the communication stop? That's what I would be thinking if I was Hussein. Like, you don't have a relationship. When did that stop? And how did things end? Was it amicable? Is there a chance that he'll want to make contact with the child? Is there any outstanding issues between you and the father? Do you resent him for not being there? And how does that manifest? And how will it affect the relationship if it was to develop? So I can understand why Hussein was taken aback.
Yeah. Yeah. And what about you all said? Do you see any reason why Hussein should have been taken back by the announcement?
Yeah, I'll be taken aback because that's a major part of your life. As I stated earlier, she still got to pay for the collect calls that her minor son is receiving from his daddy. So, I mean, she still has a connection. Whether she's talking to him or not, that is still a connection to the man. That you will always be connected to him because that will always be your son's father. The thing is, whether you have any connection yourself, any deep, long-standing connection, then no, we don't have a relationship, but I certainly, support my son and encourage him to have a relationship with his father, as he can. That's as simple as it can get. But to keep it, and think it's not necessary, I think she's a little delusional. That is very much somebody wants to know that. It is very delusional. Your son, let's say her son is in sports, or if not, he's in college. Y'all got to go visit the college. Y'all got to go visit the son. He will be there as well, helping his son. So there is still going to be a connection. You can't have your partner meet your child's father in social settings, and then he never knows that the man was incarcerated.
Yeah. And even more than that, we don't, what is the guy incarcerated for? Is there a restraining order in place? Is there, was it something serious where he can't be around the child or make contact with Rose? Or is he likely to come out and want to, rekindle things with Rose? We don't know.
Even if it's
That
not a rekindling, you don't know what, as you said, what he went in for. It's all well and good. Y'all are saying that with as far as Hussein, works for a brand and does brand marketing. What about someone like Cam? Cam cannot be seen associating as a civil servant firefighter with someone who has that kind of connection. Unfortunately, it can cause questions. It's not going to totally hurt his career, but it can cause questions, because some civil service jobs don't just run a background check on you. They run a background check on your partner, and they will see she's associated with this person, and depending on what they did, if he's in jail for arson, they're going to look at Cam sideways.
Well,
mm.
he'll be keeping Cam in a job if that's what he did. Because Cam's job is to put out fires. So if he's an arsonist,
if the baby's father is an arsonist, oh, okay, and that would not be a good match. It's so silly. That's so silly. But wait a minute. And Crucial J, you're being silly, but no, you being honest. Crucial J says something also that's funny. He says it's weird to bring up this fact in front of complete strangers instead of one-on-one in an intimate setting with your partner, with the person you're getting
correct.
to know. That's what I
Correct.
said too. Like, why couldn't you bring it up to him? And then
Exactly. You just spent the whole weekend together, rooming together,
right,
and been on
right.
dates.
Right, right. I mean, if nothing else, if you felt comfortable enough to sleep in the same bed in the same room with this man, at that point, I certainly believe you know enough about him or you feel comfortable enough with him that you could have gave him the 411 on the situation. Like what? Like, but you're gonna give it to the strangers though. You feel like, oh yeah, I'm very comfortable with his brother and his cousin who I just met 5 seconds ago.
Mm. And let's not forget, we already had an episode where they had to meet their exes. So again, that's another opportunity where she could have disclosed why her ex wasn't present.
Yes, yes.
Well, she had
Uh,
the ex that was the PR marketer for her, that was used car salesman, just said, "Oh my God, Rose is also perfect." That
Yeah.
was wrong
do,
one.
do we
Right.
think that's what it was?
Right,
Right.
but here's the thing, and I hate to say this way. There are members of this cast that also had, run-ins with the law, okay, in their younger life. So it's
Okay.
not like a cast member is going to be too put off or shocked. It's a matter of when this is disclosed and you have embarrassed me in front of my family. It's not the fact that he's incarcerated. That's one piece. But the piece is that, wait a minute, we just spent the whole weekend together in the same
Hmm.
room, in the same house.
Yep.
And now you're telling me this in front of my brother and my cousin. This don't look good.
No, because
Right.
what it looks like is his family. They're going to be like, right, you didn't know. What do you know about her then? You don't know this about your woman. This is quite important.
Very.
You're bringing her to meet us, but evidently there's things you don't know about her.
Right. When the son is going to get married, they're going to be the father of the groom. She's going to be the mother of the groom. You are going to be in social settings. If the son is going to college, graduation, ceremonies, all these things. The son is about to graduate from high school. Is his dad going to be there? There are social settings, whether she wants to ignore his dad or not, which I don't think is a healthy thing, unless, we don't know why he was incarcerated. If he was incarcerated in something that requires a restraining order, yes, she should totally ignore him. But, if you're going to be in social settings, you got to also teach your son how to move in these kind of blended family situations.
Mm. Yeah. And
That's
the other
mhm.
thing that we didn't mention is how will the son receive someone like Hussein coming into his mother's life? Is there a wound there with the father not being present that might make it difficult for the son to integrate and get to know Hussein if he were to choose Rose?
I got a question for both of you. Did anybody find it interesting or maybe semantics or confusing when she said, "My son knows who his father is. I know who his father is, and he knows who his father is. It almost sounded to me like, yeah, he knows his name, but does he actually know the man behind the name? Does he know the person? Does he have any type of, has he spent any time with them? What do you think, Ilse?
You mean Rose's son and his dad?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, Rose's son. Hmm.
I don't think so. I think the man has been incarcerated probably for most of her son's life, but I don't know. It has not been disclosed how long he's been incarcerated, but it seems to be a long time that she can, ignore him, or maybe he's just in and out of jail. We don't know. But the thing is, based on what she has said, I think he has a phone call, relationship with his dad, but we don't know. She said she doesn't stop him from talking to his dad. So she paying for the collect calls on Global Tel Link. Okay? She paying for them collect calls from, the child's father, between the child's father and the child.
Right, right. Hmm. And again, like I said, I'm kind of wondering. Okay, so let's say they have these conversations. I understand that those are collect calls. Is the son able to go? Does she take him, or does someone take him to go see his dad while he's incarcerated? Like, can he have face-to-face visits with his dad? And I guess the other question, maybe before that, is again, what is the father incarcerated for? Was
And
it
how
a
long?
and how long? Was it a violent crime? Was it a white collar crime? I mean, was it what was it? Because there's so many different things. Like, who was it? One of you that said about, is there even a PPO between Rose and this ex partner, the child's father?
Yeah, and when I say how long, I mean obviously we know he's been inside 6 to 7 years based on what she said, but how long has he got left?
Ooh, yeah. Excellent point. Okay, Miss Wilson is saying 7 years, 7 years that he's been incarcerated. Is
Yeah,
that
I know that part, but
okay?
yeah, we
So
don't
how
know
many
how
more
long.
before
Yeah,
he comes out?
exactly. He might have got 25 to life. We don't know.
Ooh, yikes. Oh, okay. You were thinking of what did you call
Naeem, Naeem, three,
Naeem?
5 by 3,
Five
five
by
by three.
three. Okay, because I was like, Hussein has got 5 kids. Oh my gosh. Oh my lord. These men are so prodigious.
I don't think Hussein has kids. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either.
He has a son.
Oh,
He
does
does
he?
have
Remember
one son.
the keychain that Angie gave him for his
Oh
son.
yes, yeah, yeah, yes. He bought a
Ah,
gift. Yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right.
doggone El Cid. She's got the memory of an elephant.
No, it's just because I remember Angie giving him that gift, and I'm like, that's a little too early, a little too
Hmm.
pushy, a little too in his face, and but we only know of that son for Hussein. We don't know about any other children for him, but that's the
Hmm.
only reason I remembered it because Angie was too forward.
Mm.
Ah, okay. And to go to Africa wants to know, how do we know if there are any phone calls? Oh, yikes.
Because she
Can
said it. She
She
said
said,
he
yeah, she said
talks
that
to his
she talked
dad
to
on the
him.
phone.
Hmm. Yeah,
mm,
She said that. That's what she
hmm,
said in this interaction here. So
exactly.
we know that somebody, an adult, has got to pay with a credit card for those phone calls from jail. Now, whether it's phone calls from jail or only phone calls when he's out, we don't know. I'm just
mm,
assuming that she said he has he talks to his dad on the phone, that it could be jail too.
mm.
Well,
Well,
if your dad's in jail, it's the only way you can talk to him, right? Unless it's by letter. So what she said was there were phone calls that are regularly made between the child and the father. So don't worry about it. That's how it kind of came across. Don't worry about him. He has a relationship with his son, and that's why I didn't bring it up. There's nothing to worry about. No, it's major.
it
There's too many.
is.
There's too many. There's too many variables and too many things that could affect the relationship.
Yeah, me.
So,
Do we agree with Mimi? Because she says it sounds like a federal prison. Like, sounds like maybe her ex is in a federal prison. Now, I don't know if anyone can tell me the difference between the state prison system and the federal prison. What would be like the major differences with communication, maybe, or visitation? Could anyone explain that to me?
Feds, you got to do all your time. Feds
Ooh,
don't do percentages of time for good behavior. Okay.
ooh.
Unless it's extenuating circumstances like COVID. State, and feds is because you've committed a federal offense. State and, local jails are because you've committed offenses within that state or boundary. Feds, you could end up in any federal penal system or location. It doesn't necessarily have to be in the same state that you conducted your, infraction. So
Ah.
for the phone systems, it is the same company that owns it, and it is money. The same, they call themselves different things, but it's usually a global tel link in the South. But it is owned by the same umbrella company for the communication systems. Like in Texas, you can pay $500 a month for unlimited calls and text messages.
Did you just say wait? Skirt. Did you just say $500 a month?
Yes, and I know this because I watched Love During Lockup. Okay.
But $500 though, like I got a cell phone. I don't have to pay anything extra per month, and it's certainly not $500.
You have phone calls and you can have video visits, on a tablet.
Oh,
Yes.
still not worth $500 to me though.
Not
So-
love after lockup, Babs. Love during lockup. And all of those calls are recorded, and all of those calls are public access.
Oh yeah, like the strawberry.
Exactly. And there's Love During Lockup tells you a lot of what goes on those video calls, especially between those men and women. So yes, it costs. Even sending a text message costs. In Georgia, it costs you about 15 cents per text message.
Oh my goodness. I that's a lot. This is so much. It's so much.
It's good money. I've been looking at investing in it. It's a lot of money, and you ain't got to do a whole bunch.
Oh,
But
okay.
I would say one of my thoughts for retirement is monitoring jail calls for, the local district attorney's office. That would be a good job. If you
Do
if
they
you could
wait a
do it.
minute? Do they use people now, or this day and age? Do they use artificial intelligence? Like what?
Even if they use artificial intelligence, they use people to make the connection for the case. You cannot bring AI into the courtroom to testify about what was said on the jail calls. It has to be a person.
Oh yeah, that makes sense too. That makes sense. Wow. Well, I'll tell you like a brief little story time. I once knew a fellow, and he was out of prison, and he was working as an electrician, making excellent money. And unfortunately, he started resuming his old behavior. So he soon went right back to prison. And so, I contacted him because he's like a friend of a friend that's very important to me. So I contacted him to encourage him, and we were writing back and forth these I guess it's like an email thing or something like that, because we didn't talk on the phone. And then he started asking me about my love life or some stuff like that. And I was like, no, 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 no. And he ended up saying, well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean any harm, and I won't ever go that way again. And I was like, okay, because what we not gonna do is talk about having a romantic relationship and you're incarcerated. That's what we not gonna do.
Well, that's what they do in order to supplement their income in the jail.
I don't care. You need to go to love during lockup, or lockup after love, or love however. But what we not gonna do is discuss romantic things and talk about anything other than this Bible in front of us, the Word, and how are you doing, and can I pray for you? That's all we gonna do.
And all I gotta say is that note or text message or whatever you sent is filed in his record, and you are now a known associate.
And
That's okay. That's
anything,
okay. That's okay.
anything that you said that could be printed is also on his cell wall.
It's on his cell wall.
Yeah,
What?
inside his cell on the wall, pinned up, so he could, they pin up pen pals.
So he's putting up my He's putting up my Bible scriptures and things like that. I
Of
hope
course,
so.
you got to decorate the room with something.
But now
It's going to
you
be in
know
there for
what?
a long time.
I'm not going to even go no further with my story time because I got another story time that happened a long, long, long time ago, and that one that wasn't so great. That really wasn't so great. But it was a family member, and somehow or another, my daughter's name got mentioned in the discussion between me and this family member, and we had to the family member who was incarcerated had to take care of a couple of people because they wanted to contact my then teenage daughter. Like, oh hell no. No, you're not gonna contact my teenage daughter. No, deal with somebody else's grown adult daughter, but not my teenage daughter. Okay. But yeah, but anyway, how do we get there? How do we get here?
We're told you asked us about the difference between state and
Yes.
federal penitentiary.
Thank you. Thank you for always being so on top of things. But so do we agree or disagree, or what is your thought? Let me just ask you individually. What is your thought? Do you feel like Rose should have informed Hussein before she informed his family of her ex being incarcerated, her child's father? What say you, El said?
Yes, she should have told him privately. It didn't have to be the retreat, but at least not in front of his family.
Okay. And what say you, JR?
I agree. There were multiple opportunities where it could have been told, either in like disclosed privately, or while they're rooming together, and all these other instances, or even Kiara's situation when that came out, or the meet the ex situation. There's a few times. So she deliberately didn't want to say it because, yeah, she probably felt she would be judged by it, and it might put some of the guys off.
Yeah. And yeah, I have to agree. I think she should have. And for me, it really feels like a lie by omission, right? Not that anybody specifically maybe asked her, is your ex your father's your child's father incarcerated? No, but it just seems like a lie by omission, because if you're getting to this place where you're close enough to sleep in the same bed with this guy, and you're talking about we're supposedly looking at dating intentionally for a long-term relationship, then yeah, you should have told him. Is my feeling on it. So you guys drop down and tell me what you think. If you were in this situation and you were being dated by someone as a guy, would you want her to tell you that her child's father is incarcerated, um, or vice versa? If you're a gal, would you want your guy to tell you that his child's mother is incarcerated? Because we're seeing more and more women going to prison now, aren't we, Elsa?
Oh yeah, if you watch Love During Lockup and Love After Lockup, the women are being incarcerated at on pace almost with the men.
Yeah, that is true. We're seeing a lot of that, a lot of incarceration with women too. And I don't know how it is over there in the UK, JR, if women are being incarcerated there at a high rate also.
Um, they are being incarcerated. I wouldn't necessarily at a high rate. There's actually
Hmm.
talks to stop locking women up in jail.
What?
Yeah, because yeah, it doesn't really matter about the crime either. But what they're basically saying is it does too much destruction to the family setup. The mother's usually the caregiver, so if you lock away a lady who has a child, there may be detrimental effects to that child. And then when she comes out, her options may be limited, of course, due to having a criminal record. So there are talks here to try and make it more difficult for women to be sent to jail.
Oh wow! But that.
The jails here are very overcrowded. There's no space. So they're trying to
So
figure
that's.
out ways. Yeah. So they also have policies for men where if you serve 40% of your time, then you'll be released. So it can create space for new people that have been arrested or going through the system. So it's to the brink. It's like very high, like 97% full to capacity across the UK jails.
Mm, wow, that's. Yeah, I guess I was going to ask you, JR. Do you feel like that's some kind of gender double standard, though? If women, if they make
Absolutely.
make up all these different rules so it's so much harder to incarcerate a woman, yet a man will get incarcerated for the same offense?
Absolutely, it is a double standard because I'm sure it's been documented over decades. Removing the father from the home can be detrimental too. So yeah, there's a double standard there. There'll always be double standards. There's not going to be a genuine equality in everything.
Yeah, I guess not. Okay, so you know what we got to bring in? We got to bring in our girl Angie, because Angie makes it to the date to meet the family, meet the brother, meet the cousin, and so how do you think that Angie did, Jr.?
And she did well. She put her best foot forward, and the family liked her. She did it. Yeah, she did. She fared very well. In fact, out of all of the ladies, I think she came away with the best feedback on the dates that she went on.
Only because she ain't talk no busting windows.
Exactly. She omitted information too.
She
Omitted.
admitted that part. Well,
Exactly.
wait a minute. He didn't say nothing about it either, Hussein. He could have brought it up. He was free to.
Yeah, he would have thrown her under the bus.
Right. He wouldn't do that. He wouldn't
No.
he wouldn't tell, but he'd be looking at her, side eye. He'll tell them after the fact. Well, Angie's the one that busting windows out here.
Yeah. It wasn't Rose, it was Angie. Just saying.
And what
One
is
got
this?
an incarcerated father of a child, and one, doing,
One's about to
destruction of
be
property.
one's about to
Exactly.
be incarcerated.
Well, you know what? Someone mentioned doing background checks where Angie, maybe worth doing a background check or two on Angie too to see if she picked up anything about her
Unless she
journey.
was charged, you wouldn't find it unless it's on her record.
Exactly.
You
So
wouldn't find
you got to search for it first to see if she was charged or not, because she may not want to admit
Oh,
anything.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, chances are, who knows? Maybe she was not charged with that.
Or maybe
'Cause
she was. It's destruction of property, right?
it is. You're right. It is. But let's say it happened when she was 17. Let's say it happened when she was a minor still.
then
So
that could be sealed.
could be sealed. That's right. Could be sealed.
Could be. Or if she done it in her 20s, it won't be sealed, right?
But it could still be if it could be still expunged and off of her record if it's a first offenders act.
Right.
Hmm.
That's true.
Did she say that she's only done it once, or did she say she would do it?
She didn't say.
But here's the thing, Jr. It's not how many times she did it; it's how many times she was actually charged and found guilty of it. That's the other thing. She could have done it 10 times. What if she was only charged with it once?
Then the fact that she's done it 10 times would be the red flag, wouldn't it?
Oh,
But it wouldn't come up on a background check.
No,
right.
but it will come straight out of her mouth that she did it 10 times and she never was charged. And that would be red flag. There'll be 10 red flags for every charge.
Well, I don't know. I don't know the whole breaking the windows out in the car. Didn't she say that was when she was much younger? Later on, after the getaway, didn't she come out and say that was
But
much?
she
Didn't
didn't
give the
say
age.
she would never do it again.
Exactly. And that's what they were pressed about. It wasn't just the fact that she's done it before. It was her attitude of, yeah, if you play with me, I'm gonna do it. And she don't see nothing wrong with doing it. That's the danger.
But isn't this the woman that says she's studying to be a therapist? Angie,
Yeah.
you find that out later in the next date.
Yeah.
She's studying to
And
be a therapist.
Yeah, and all that comes with, letting out your emotions.
Right.
Productively, not criminally.
Yeah, so that's the thing. She's going through the process of becoming a therapist herself, which probably involves some level of therapy herself, sitting down with a counselor and all that stuff. Now, if she's going through that process and still having the mindset of, I did it when I was younger, but you play with me, it's likely to happen again. That's not conducive, is it?
No, It probably would be conducive.
Because I remember my comments at the time was, why would you be proud to have done that? Because that can affect your future and your earnings and all those type of things that you don't want to record on your file as a grown
Right.
woman,
Right.
a
You don't want
career and everything.
right. Right. You don't want to have a record and you're trying to climb up the corporate ladder or what have you. No.
Yeah. Okay.
That's true.
Mm.
No, what were we gonna say, JR?
No, I was agreeing with you.
Okay. So who do we think did better on this date with Hussein? Do we think Rose did better, or do we think that Angie did better? JR.
Angie did better because of what came out.
Okay.
You could tell that Hussein was visibly taken, that, he was shocked. He was just like, what? I didn't expect to hear this for the first time. So I think just by that admission, Angie came out on top.
Okay, and then Felicia H has a question. Did they really like Angie, or did they dislike Rose so much because of the baby daddy issue? And did Angie get the nod by default?
It could be both. It could be both. It could be, but Angie did, sound the best, even taking out the, incarcerated, father of Rose's child, even taking that out, Angie, because she did not talk about busting windows, she came out the best, she came out on top. But then she also has a child close to Hussein's child's age. Rose's child is 17. So again, they're kind of parents with on the same, age level with their kids. So going and having another kid or whatever, they'll be on the, kind of like the same level and page.
So yeah, you definitely think that Angie did the best of the two ladies.
Yeah, definitely. And she, her not her lifestyle, but her life, as I said, with the same kids in the same close to the same age and stuff like that. Hey, it seems apart from her working nights as a bartender, meaning she's going to be away from home a lot, that could certainly they can certainly blend, better than him and Rose, with her having a 17-year-old and then starting all over, having other kids, adopting other kids.
Yeah. Now, she said that she would be willing to try to have one more child. I mean, that's Rose, I'm saying.
But not by surrogate.
When she got triggered by Fritz. Yeah.
You're a mess. You're a mess. Okay, so we move forward to the next date. We have, of course, Taye and Cisco. And I thought Taye looked very beautiful during this date. He brought his sister along. His sister was there to meet Taye, and she had a few questions for Taye. But the thing about it the question I didn't understand was when she was talking about Cisco getting married possibly to Taye. I thought to myself, I said, but isn't he still married, or is it just me? What did you think, JR?
Yeah. He could still be going through. I'm not sure if he's still married, but I thought he was divorced and that's why he lost everything and has to rebuild.
Oh, okay. He was the one that was already divorced. Okay, my bad. I've been mixed up with something else that I was thinking of. It's like, though, I never heard her mention anything about his marriage. Everything was about the relationships that he had minus the marriage. It's almost as if she didn't know that he had been married before.
Taye.
No, I'm sorry, his sister. Because we know that Taye knows he's been married before, because that's the excuse for why he's living from couch to couch, right?
Right, so why wouldn't the sister know?
No, I know,
Was
but
she right?
it felt like it. It felt like it. I mean, maybe it's just me again. Like I said, maybe it's just me. But during this date, it felt like the sister, or maybe it was just a purposeful evasion of the discussion of that. Like, in fact, like, okay, here's my thing. If I were Tay, and Tay's here, and she's got a family member to quiz about these things, I would have wanted to know as Tay, about his previous marriage, about why it fell apart, about any of those type of things. So maybe that was edited out of this whole episode. I don't know.
Mm. Yeah, that would be valid questions, and I'm not sure why they're going to edit that out because they've aired other people's stuff. So that's vital information to Cisco's persona that we've been seeing over the last few weeks. So
Mm.
either Tay didn't ask the pertinent questions, or it was edited, or
Or,
maybe she wasn't interested.
or unless the ex-wife has asked that he not, address their marriage in his public outings, because remember he has modeled before, he has done stuff, so she may ask that their marriage not be mentioned in his public settings.
And also, the sister may want to know how much Tay knows by not saying anything, and let Tay say what she does know.
Right, because as we see it in the chat, and we have to remember, is the sister the only member of the family talking to him, or is it that the family just don't want Cisco staying at their place? Because remember, he said his mama don't want him there, grandmama ain't want him there. Is it that the family has no contact with him, or is it that they just don't want him living with them?
That could be. That could be. They don't want him messing up their nice sofa, because I'm not trying to put nobody on my sofa if you come over here and I don't have enough room or enough beds for you. I'm not trying to put you on my sofa, because I understand that people sleeping on sofas actually ruin sofas.
Well, he was sleeping quite comfortable on the one in the retreat.
That's because he didn't care, because that was an Airbnb. He didn't care about their sofa, and they don't really care because they can always replace it. But I'm talking about the average person that just has one sofa. Like, I don't want you sleeping on it, dude. Now, you can sleep on the floor if you don't mind the pallet, but what you're not going to do is sleep on my sofa.
And also, they may not want a grown 40-something-year-old man eating in the kitchen, always in the fridge, eating up all the pig feet, all the chicken,
What am I saying?
all the food, all the pig feet, all the chicken,
You might as well say chitterlings, okay?
all the chitlins.
Is that a big staple? Is that a big staple there in London?
No, but it's on Friday. The movie with Ice Cube and John Witherspoon.
Oh, okay. Big feet. Oh, Lord. What say you, Sid, about this date?
About this date, I think, as you said, Tay looked absolutely amazing. It certainly pointed out what I was more looking at. I know the chat is talking about, is this his biological sister or not? She knows Spanish enough with him, to be familiar. But when they started talking Spanish and Tay had to be like, stop it, don't be saying that. That is a dynamic in any family that you're getting involved in. If you do not speak their native language, how are you going to manage, and how are you going to feel? You better learn that quick.
Good point. I wonder how my daughter's doing with her French. Oh, my goodness. I think you would feel like, okay, so does this happen? I don't know. Does this happen a lot when you are married to someone or in a serious relationship with someone that is bilingual, and then their family, they're speaking like their native language with their family in front of you? Like, isn't that a little bit rude?
It can't be rude if they have, senior members of the family probably don't know English, haven't learned English. So
Okay.
grandma don't know English, so we got to speak this language, and it may be rude to speak English around grandma, the matriarch, knowing she don't speak it.
Okay, so you did a reverse thing. I see what you did there, reverse Uno. Okay, but I'm saying that if, like, his sister who obviously is bilingual, and he's in front of his, let's say, Tay, they were long term or they were married, then why is he speaking all this Spanish, telling her, well, don't answer her questions and don't say anything really bad about me in Spanish? And she, maybe as an English speaker, I don't know if she's bilingual, but maybe she doesn't know all of that, what he's saying. But that's not fair because it's being deceptive.
It's not fair. Cisco should not have done it with his sister right there in front of Tay. He could do a little bit of Spanglish so that Tay can understand and y'all can make a joke of it. But to truly go into Spanish in front there and say that, and I knew, thank the Lord, the person who translated it did translate it correctly. I was like, Cisco, that's a bit rude. And Tay, if you don't think that's rude for that gentleman to be not acting like a gentleman and speaking a language you do not understand and speaking about you, Tay, again, I am wondering about your, decision-making process.
Yeah. The people are saying out there in the streets, out there in the YouTube streets, are saying that they probably want Cisco out of their pockets, meaning the family and the friends. What do you think, JR?
Yeah, that could be the case. But as a grown 40-plus-year-old man, you should be living with your parents anyway, no matter what your circumstances. So I don't necessarily fault him for not living with a relative. He needs to go out and find his own, stand on his own too. Work, get a place, and then get in a situation that will make it more presentable and palatable for you to be dating.
Yeah,
Right.
that because that's the thing. Do we feel like Cisco should even be dating? Cisco's doing the rise mushroom coffee things too, by the way. I know you guys
He
had
is.
seen that on Instagram, right? Cisco got it. He got a gig now. He doing rise mushroom coffee tea commercials. So come on,
Now,
Cisco.
somebody also posted Cisco bodybuilding modeling. And when I say I am very, very proud of my ladies in the comment section saying that he need to build that bank account and not his body, I was very proud of my ladies in the comment section.
Yeah, but the other thing is his body is his money maker. It was his money maker. But as you get older, it's harder to get in shape. So he needs to find something else other than his body. Yeah, he still can do modeling and commercials and things. But is that really going to be, steady pay? Is that going to pay, enough money for him to be able to get out of his current situation?
Right, because bodybuilding is a young man's sport.
Yep.
It's a very much a young man's sport, unless they are, we talk about women and beauty queens and stuff like that, but that is the area in where men and their physique and their look has to be youthful. And though he has grade early, that I don't know. Is there a senior Mr. Olympiad or Mr.
Yes,
World?
there is. There's a Masters, which is for the older competitors. But again, you have to be in extremely good shape.
I'm not saying he's not in shape. Okay, as a lady of a plus size delegation, I'm not saying he's not in shape, but what he has presented online, I don't think he's at the level of that competitive nature. And Aubrey and I do Match Me Abroad. There's a gentleman there that also competes, internationally for physique. He would wash Cisco out the competition.
Out the competition completely. And he fine. He fine too.
He's he's Singapore fine, ladies.
He's Singapore fine, which for me is just fine. And he's intelligent and articulate. I like him.
Has his own place, own multiple gyms.
And he's straightforward. He's grown man savvy. And he knows how to dress.
Looks like he should have been on Ready to Love instead of Match Me Abroad.
You know what? If they start doing Ready to Love in Singapore, he would have been the first one there. Babs, I'm doing Duolingo right now. I'm doing it for Spanish, and I'm getting there.
Oh, ¿cómo está?
You also have Rosetta Stone, but even more simpler than that, you have Google Translate now too.
Yeah, what about Babel? But I'm talking about those are things that translate, but are you learning it? I think I'm gonna have
Of
to do
course,
like my African friends and start looking at these programs with Spanish subtitles. That's what I'm gonna have to do.
that's a great way to do it. That's how a
Yeah.
lot of people actually learn through watching TV, watching movies in other languages with subtitles.
Yes, yes. My friends that were Nigerian, they taught me that when they came here to this country, they did all of the things they watched it with the subtitles. And that's how they were able to learn so quickly. So if it
Mhm.
worked for them, maybe it'll work for me too. But yeah, I think somebody was saying about was that really actually his biological sister? I did not find any reason to believe that that couldn't have been his sister. And someone pointed out, in our culture, in our community, oftentimes you'll have multiple shades of brown, blackness in one family, even with the same parents.
Oh heck yeah!
I have a
I mean,
coworker who's uh very fair light brown complexion who has a dark skinned mother and a lighter skinned father, and the children are everything in between. Some may resemble the mom, some may resemble more the dad's complexion, and some are in between. So come on now, come on.
I don't think you would put somebody on there that say they're your sister and they're really not. I mean, people have been there where they've said they're like a sister to me. This is my friend I grew up with, my cousin who's like a sister, but I believe that's his sister. Just the familiarity and just their body language with each other too. I think, it screamed to me,
Mhm.
siblings.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what I got out of it too. I did. I really did get that out of it. That they're like you said, their familiarity. Now, if they had been all like they didn't know one another, and it's their first time seeing each other, yeah, then I could agree with that. But somebody said no air mattress. He's too big. I don't know, but you just can't sleep on my sofa though. So if you don't mind a hard floor, then you're welcome to it. But yeah, this date I thought went well. I still do not understand the attraction Tay has to Cisco. I'm not really understanding why Cisco is even here to be dating anyone under the circumstances that he's currently under. But hey,
And he saw what kind of nice car she drove. We all did
mm-hmm, right,
by the end of this date.
right. So
And
well, like I said, like I told you guys on a previous episode here, nurse anesthetist? No, no, somebody help me out with this. But you know what I'm trying to say.
Esthetician.
No, not an esthetician though. Though is that what it is? Because that's like
anesthetist,
anesthetist.
anesthetist.
Thank you, thank you. Nurse anesthetists make over $250,000 a year. So yeah. Okay, there's that. There's that. So 250K. There's that. So I don't know, maybe when you make 250K, even if you live in Philly or expensive big city, maybe it doesn't matter if your mate um doesn't have their own place because they can always move in with you. Kind of like last season of Married at First Sight. Who was the young lady um that had her own place in Chicago? She had a big penthouse and she did like she had a spa. She had like a beauty spa. Does anybody remember her name?
Mm. Nope.
Don't remember her name. She ended up with the fireman guy at the end after she was with the guy that wrote the book that didn't like her at all.
I know. Oh gosh.
Was it Jasmine?
No, it's not. It's like a not a Emmy.
Oh, she was Nigerian, right?
Yeah,
She
she
was
was Nigerian. Her father passed, and we.
Emmy, Emmy, something like that. Her. Well, anyway, okay, it just reminds me of that because she was willing to marry the guy that they wrote the book that was only sold like 5 copies, and he basically didn't have a job, and he basically moved to Chicago because he'd been trying to be on mass for so. Anyway, that's what it reminds me of, but that's neither here nor there. Moving on. Is there anything else we want to say about the whole Tay uh, Cisco? This is why I thought she looked so beautiful and so pretty right there. Anything else we want to say about Tay and Cisco's date with his sister?
No, I think, as we put it, Tay looked very well put together for this meeting, and Cisco did not rise to the occasion as far as outfits.
Mm-mm. Oh, Miss Wilson wants to know, El Cid, what type of car was that?
It looked like a Benz. I could be wrong because we saw them in the open door. I had to pause it for a minute and look, but I couldn't really see. But it looked like the Benz my girlfriend has that I really don't like because I'm part of the tall girls delegation, and them Benzes. Okay, the
The cars.
seat to head ratio is not very positive for me. I always have to duck in to get in the daggone Benz. So whenever I go out drinking with her, I'm like, we taking my car. What we not going to do is drive that thing with me crouched up like I'm on a toddler's chair, just trying to drive this to your place.
Oh, that's horrible. Because I also have a long torso. Oh, that's horrible.
I can't stand it. Just sitting in the car, I have to, squeeze my shoulders and bend to get in. And she's got, one of them sporty looking, SUV style Benzes. And I'm like, wait a minute, I thought this thing's supposed to have room. No, not for me.
No, sports cars don't. They're built for speed, so they're more aerodynamic. They're usually lower to the ground.
Yeah.
But it's an SUV. It's not a sports car. It's
That's
the
what I was
Benz
gonna.
Okay.
SUV.
Oh, it's the SUV and it still has
Oh,
that
you
same
must
ratio? What?
you must be big then, Elsie.
I'm 5'11".
Wow.
I never knew El Cid was a Tony. Who knew?
We talked about it before.
I didn't know you were that tall though.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking maybe you're 5'7" or something.
No.
Oh my
I have a
goodness.
question though.
Yes, yes.
Do you think it's telling that there's still some confusion what Tay sees in Cisco?
Wait, say it again.
Like, do you think it's telling? Do you think that it's quite alarming that there is still some confusion as to what Tay sees in Cisco?
I think the only thing I can figure out is that it's he's an attractive guy. I thought from the first time I saw him, I thought he was attractive. I think he's well built. I think he has some sex appeal, but in real life, I think the other things that he has that strikes against him, I don't think the good looks and the sex appeal make up for any of that.
Right. But Tay does. Well, evidently there must be some reason why she's still there, right?
We'll say that again because you were.
Oh, sorry. I'm getting my pistachios. Yeah, there must be some reason why she's still attracted to him, and
He might know how to put it down. I mean, I'm not so old that I've forgotten what those days were like. Okay, he might know how to really put it down, but I don't know. I think everybody's different. Like I have a part of me that's very rational, brain wise, and it overrules my heart when it comes to things that I feel are kind of silly. So, but he might be able to put it down. Like he might be all of that and 2 bags of chips in the bedroom.
I think Tay is
what do you
falling.
think, Elsie?
Tay is falling into a period of time where ladies figure this is my last hurrah. And this man, he's a decent guy. Okay. He's, life has not dealt him all the cards that, he can play well. And he has the potential word. And she could see that, okay, he's a good guy. I could take a chance on him. But again, I need her to go into this as with anyone, eyes wide open. Anyone that's divorced, you better read that divorce decree. You better read up all that stuff. You better get the credit report, see what his debts are, see what his background check is. You better dig deep because again, it doesn't matter if you have a little or a lot. If you're going to hitch your wagon to his horse, you've
Right.
got to know what you're getting into. And yes, he is open and disclosing all of these things, but you don't know how is it that he lost all of that in his divorce? He didn't walk away with a car. He didn't walk away with, certain things. Was it the morality clause in there because he possibly cheated? You need to know exactly what you're getting into. And he may be at the point where he ain't gonna cheat anymore because he tired of it. He could be, but I ain't hitching my wagon to that. But she's may looking around and say, hey, or it could be control too. If she making the money and he is not, he probably will do as he's told. I'm not saying anything other than it can be a control factor too. Many men who make more than you may have more bass in their voice. And a man who is not making as much as you, maybe she's like, hey, I have the power in this dynamic.
Like Cardi B said, you may need to lick some sweat.
in unmentionable places. Isn't that the next line?
Ooh, my. You guys. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Okay, and so we move over to our next date. And we've got Rose. Wait a minute. Am I doing this right? We've got Rose and I'm sorry. Go back. We've got Cam, as El Cid knows very well. We've got Cam, and he's got his niece and his cousin, and over on the end there on the left side, the niece is kind of like, I don't like none of you gals. That's my uncle. She might have a little crush on her uncle. But we get Rose.
Ew.
Huh?
Ew.
I'm
She
sorry.
did like somebody. She did like
She
Angie.
did. But hold on. But we got Sahara, and I think that initial frown was Sahara was kind of Sahara-ing. But then when we got to Angie, but I think it was actually this laughter right here. This was caught when I believe it was Rose that said, "You know what? How do you deal with Cam being stubborn?" And Rose says, "Well, you know what? Even if we have to have angry smecks, we're gonna have to have angry smecks, and I'm gonna get mine, and he gonna get his, and then we're gonna be okay." So, what did you think about that, Elsid?
That angry stuff ain't gonna solve anything other than, like a squirrel, you got a nut and you still have the problem sitting there waiting for you. So I did not appreciate that answer. I know she was trying for comic relief, and that is certainly all it was. But then again, you don't know his relationship and how much or how he does speak in front of his niece. That's his niece. So I don't know. I thought the niece was 16. I don't know if she's over 18, but I wouldn't be saying that in front of the youngster. That's all. That's all. And I understand what she was going for. But it ain't gonna work. You gonna get it, and the problem will still be sitting there. That's all. And you can't use your physicality to solve every problem in your relationship. Problems will just stack up just because you're focused on physical. But then again, Cam and Angie both say that what they have together is definitely more, chemistry physically like that. So are we really looking to build a relationship, or are we looking to smash and dash?
What do you think, JR? Smash and dash or building a relationship?
Well, smash and dashing is not necessarily condoned, right? But I didn't like Rose saying that in front of the niece. Now, I agree with Elsid there. That wasn't. Maybe she didn't read the room properly, or it was just comic relief. But still, I was surprised that she said that. And she didn't go. The detail that she gave, she left nothing to the imagination. But I think Angie is potentially like that too. I think Angie is potentially like that too. Yeah, again, this was interesting because I don't think Cam got the answers that he wanted from his niece and, sister or whatever. I think he was expecting them to put Sahara at the top, and that would validate his choice to some degree that, he'd been feeling that. But to be fair, Cam has been telling all of these ladies that they're his number one connection, all at the same time. So I don't think he liked their verdict at the end.
And why do you think they came up with that verdict? Like, why do you think why do you feel like they said that Sahara was last, the bottom of their list?
Because they said Sahara is like the girls he'd previously dated, the toxic ones that hadn't worked. And he's just repeating a cycle if he goes with her. So they put her in the bottom because they knew that, or they feel like a relationship with Sahara would end up the same way as his previous ones did. Whereas the other two ladies, they haven't really seen him with ladies that have those personalities. So they think he's better suited to someone calmer and not as Sahara presents.
So you're telling me the candles and potions aren't working?
Isn't that voodoo? Isn't that like some obia? What's with the candles?
She said that she does, potions and stuff. That's not how she phrases it, so I'll refrain from phrasing it as such. But she, has, her candles and her, her perfumes and scents and stuff to reel people in. That's what she said.
Yeah, it's not working though because he ain't made a choice. He's still got Rose and Angie right there. So whatever she's doing at nighttime with them candles, it's not necessarily the only cabin, but it's done enough to still have him talking crap to her about how she's his number one connection. Like I said, I don't know what Cam's playing at. He's got too many connections. Should be narrowing it down. Obviously, he does this episode by default, but yeah, Cam, I think he really wanted Sahara to be number one in his relatives' eyes. But the fact that they chose Angie, I think he was a bit surprised by that. Me personally, I agree with him. Like Sahara wouldn't even be on a date if I was Cam, but third place is accurate.
But why?
Because I wouldn't be feeling Sahara. Personality, her looks, nothing. I'd prefer to date like an Angie or a Rose, to be honest. They seem not even an Angie because she, talked about the busted out car windows and stuff. And Rose is spicy too, but I think
scared? You scared of them busted windows?
You scared? You scared?
I'm scared of my I'm scared of my reaction to if they try to do anything like that. So I wouldn't want to be in that situation. But out of the three of them, I would probably say, Angie, then Rose. At least Angie's been quite honest with her stuff. No one's perfect, so at least she's been honest with her stuff. Rose, the admission, she doesn't even tell Cam about the child's father either during this date or at any point, but yet she brought it up when asked during Hussein's date. So, yeah, I don't know, man. These three are these three are all problematic in one way or another. But Angie seems to be the most bubbly and the warmest, and then followed by Rose. Sahara, I don't see it. I don't see the attraction to Sahara.
Just like we don't see the attraction to Cisco.
Exactly.
Right. And stay tuned. Hey, stay tuned. He says that Sahara might be a nice woman, but she comes off as a fun time.
Okay. Whoopee.
But you know what he means by fun time, though, right, JR?
That's a very ambiguous statement. I don't know what he means.
Well, like a fun time rather than a long time.
Nah, man.
Dash and smash, okay? Smash and dash.
Yeah. Smash up people's stuff. Nah.
No.
Smash up people's stuff, then dash. That's what
Smash and dash. Smash and dash. You know what I'm trying to say, JR.
I know, but I think the other thing might apply better. She might smash up something and dash. Hit that be on the run.
To Africa says it well.
Angie will bust the window. Excuse me, guys. You got me tickled so bad. Angie will bust the windows out and Sahara will slash the tires. What a choice. What a choice.
Exactly.
To go. Good Lord. Well, I don't know. I mean, if the his family members recognize that Sahara is very representative of the dates that he's had in the past, the relationships that did not work, maybe he should listen to his family. I mean, because why did he even ask them there if he's not going to listen to what they're saying? Oh, okay. Well, Bear's got a point. She may have a point. She says that Sahara does seem like a sweetheart underneath the hard exterior. She's been through a lot. What do you say to that, JR?
Doesn't move her from number 3
It
out of
doesn't what?
3. Doesn't move her from number 3 out of the 3.
How it keeps her still at the bottom.
Yeah.
What about you, Elsid? In your opinion, in this edited show that we've been watching, would you put Sahara at the bottom 3 of these 3 ladies?
It depends on what you're looking for. You see, Sahara, is one of my personal favorites. Yes, Rose
Mm,
has her, career and stuff, and it does take her traveling and stuff. Angie's still, building her career and so forth. But again, the propensity for busting out windows, Angie would definitely be last for me with that. With Rose second, but I really like Sahara because yes, she has been through a tough time, and
mm-hmm.
she has been rebuilding her life, and she has been doing better. Now she is not. You could take the girl out of Brooklyn, but you can't take Brooklyn out the girl. And that is exactly what Sahara is kind of fighting the public perception. The
Mm.
Ah,
public perception of she is still a little rough around the edges. But you see, here's the thing. Women like men who are a little bit rough around the edges, but here's the men
oh,
not liking.
the bad girl, bad boy routine. Okay,
Not she may not be a bad girl, but she definitely, from the hood of Philly. She has had to people laugh, people forget, Philly, and don't think of Philly as really being rough. And she has had to,
okay,
probably protect herself
okay.
and truly, stand her ground. So now she
Mm,
has to come out here in the dating world and stuff. And as she said before, she's tired of, fighting. She's tired of, being the strong one and stuff. We don't know what she's been through. She definitely, is trying to shed the skin of just because I was raised here isn't all that I am. So
okay.
again, that's why,
Mhm.
Sahara pulls at my heartstrings. I really like her. She hasn't done anything way too wild out there. She ain't told us about no busting windows, but we do
Oh,
have concerns about them candles. Okay, I side eye them candles.
I got a question for you now. I got a question for you. Okay, so you bring up a very good point. She has not done anything that we've seen on this edited show too out of the way. But what about this? What about at the getaway when she was rubbing on Jay's leg and trying to get Jay basically in trouble? It's almost like she was intentionally trying to upset Kiara. Do you feel like that's not something that uh Cam would appreciate if he was a little bit more aware of it at this point?
We are all single at the retreat.
Okay.
Has Jay gone to the bridge and say he's exclusively with Kiara? They may act like they're together, they may say they're together, but as long as you are on this show, you are dating and open to dating all the people involved. I'm sorry. So that
Mm,
whole Sahara trying to, get on, Kiara's nerves, I don't buy that. That I don't buy at all.
okay.
Jay is in whatever. Jay got an agreement with Kiara. Sahara has no such thing. And even so, Sahara didn't even go off on them when they pulled her in, and Kiara's like, you better tell her, Jay. That is when Sahara should have risen up. If she still got that North Philly girl in her, that is when I would have raised my North Philly girl, because it's like, y'all two don't bring me into y'all mess. I'm sorry. But again, Sahara behaved impeccably in that situation, while Jay and Kiara looked like two clowns. So again,
Mm,
I know how everybody's looking and seeing how, Sahara presents. Again, Sahara has not done anything really wilding out in here. They keep putting her on the bottom. I think production keeps doing things to kind of poke at her to get her out of character. Every time I see Sierra, she's on the bottom. She's on the bottom. She's always on a date with Fritz, where she clearly says she don't like this man. So I'm looking and seeing production at play in every moment with Sahara. And I'm like, Sahara, you know what's going on, and I like the way you're carrying yourself.
Hey, Sean in the house. Sean Stokes.
Sean Stokes, what's happening, bro?
Yeah, when you gonna come back to the panel, Sean? Go ahead.
I think the other thing is Sahara has been telling Cam to make his decision on more than 2 or 3 occasions, and he still hasn't for some reason.
Yeah.
So that's telling as well where he actually sees her positioned. Why? If he knows that she's interested and she wants to be locked down, like she's that committed, if he was feeling her, why is he still keeping Angie and Rose around to this point, to meet his family and everything? So he's obviously undecided, despite knowing that she's a ride or perish, as he keeps saying as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we did speak about him possibly being a captain saver 304, you remember? But earlier on in the season, we said he's the type of guy that seems to want to rescue people that he's in relationships with and things like that,
right,
in order to feel needed. So with all of that, he still hasn't decided to pick Sahara and commit like Jay has with Kiera.
I don't know. Somebody's saying that he might be better off with who was that? To Go to Africa says he might be better off with the woman whose son's father is in prison.
Rose.
At least, I'm sorry.
Rose.
Yeah, right. Rose. At least we haven't seen anything to suggest that she is violent or has been locked up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what are we saying? Like, is Sahara violent, or has she been locked up?
Right, we haven't seen anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I missed something. I'm just wondering out loud. Like, did I miss something else, Sid?
Sahara's getting judged the same way Jay was getting judged.
Mm-hmm.
She's getting judged because she's, outwardly very much, telling, how she feels, and it's just a little rough around the edges. I'm just baffled at people, but hey. My history is Brownsville, Brooklyn. Maybe she's just up my alley because of my experiences. But Sahara to me is not as wild as people are making her out to be. She ain't out here busting windows. Okay,
I got it. Okay, Mimi, I should say Mimi has it. Mimi brings up a point. Part of her image problem may be the red flag. That tat on her neck gives out roughneck. Does anybody else feel that way, or is it just me and myself?
Yeah, I would say that. As a guy, if I see a girl with a tat on her neck, it's going to be a no.
Yeah, that's
ladies are having tattoos on their neck. This is just our age. Women are having tattoos on their neck in her age. I just don't know who the initials are for. I need to know, basically who is that in homage to.
Yeah, ladies are having tattoos on their neck, and that's fine. But
it looks mannish. I'm sorry. I said exactly. It looks mannish to me. Like, I don't even like men with tattoos on their neck, but at least they're men. But ladies, if you want to get a tattoo on your neck, just know that some of us are going to think you look mannish.
Or just not be attracted to it. Just think, why would you? What is that a symbol of, and why there?
I don't think, it's in a cursive lettering. I don't think it looks mannish, but certainly that is your opinion. I just need to know what it means, something for her to put it that significantly on her body. We don't see a tattoo anywhere else. Okay.
It's a very good question. I hope that we find out at the reunion what that means to her. You're right. You're right, Sid. You're right.
It might not be her only one either.
No, that's what I'm saying. It may not be her only one, but why is this one significant enough for her to put it in a very public displayed area?
Yeah. And does it have any relation to the candles and the spirituality stuff that she does?
Oh well, wait a minute. I'm going to go back to this one before I come back. Stay tuned brings up a good point. We're going to get there. We're going to get there in a minute. So I'm gonna put a little pin in that one, and we'll come back to that. But this point, To Go to Africa says, and this is true at least in my opinion, Sahara was a little combative during the very first few shows, and at times appeared to be willing to fight. What do you say to that, El Cid?
I say that is production playing in her face. They kept putting her on the bottom because they know she is not going to respond well.
No,
So she gets
no,
to use that as an excuse because
No,
she's on
she's
the
not
bottom?
using it. She's not using it. I'm saying she's
Well, I
not
mean,
using this excuse.
but she can't control herself. Like
She
just
did. She did. She was
Mm.
spicy with her words, but she didn't get out of pocket.
No, she's
Well,
no, that was
what you
very
think?
off-putting.
Go to
No,
Africa.
Even-
What you think?
it was
You gotta
very
use it out of
off-putting.
pocket. Come on, to go to Africa. I'm just asking you now. But Jr., what do you think? What do you think?
No, it was very off-putting the way she behaved in those first few episodes,
Very.
and that's why she was down there. You know, no one saw a romantic connection with her forming from how she was behaving. So she has simmered down, and that's because she's found Cam and a connection with Cam and a pretentious connection with Jay. You know, so we have seen different sides of her, but ultimately, my perception of Sahara is the totality of the season so far. I don't care about the neck tattoo. In the early stages, she is someone that I'm very surprised she's still here. Very surprised. How
But
did she go from being bottom first 2
I'm not
weeks?
surprised.
Still
I'm
here?
not either. I have to agree with El Cid on this. I'm not surprised because you know what? In this season of Philly, this
Right.
season where we had a half break for what, like 3 months, in this season for Philly, at least Sahara is giving and bringing something to the whole show. Okay,
Which is
entertainment. She's
okay.
entertaining. She's
Oh,
entertaining.
okay.
We
I
have
think.
had again, we have to look at Philly. We have had, remember Rocky was very well received by everyone. Rocky is very rough around the edges too. We did not see her, of course, have an attitude like, Sahara would have an attitude. But again, Philly has a different dating market where the
Mhm.
ladies who are tatted up and tattoos on the arms and legs and whatever are very
Mhm.
attractive to the men there. So
Right.
again, we're going, of course, with everything, we're going based on our taste level, but then we have to look around and see, okay, the taste level around here is, different. Because even look at Coley. Coley was ready to fight Tommy because she was on the bottom.
Yeah. No, listen, at the end of the day, I will also look at how many connections Sahara has made during her time on the show. So even if you are saying that Philly men find her attractive, I haven't seen evidence of that either. It's only Cam that's had a
But
connection with her.
only
None of the
Cam
other guys.
can't save her. Only Cam can't save her from an elimination. It has to be more than just Cam. And I think that's what we are not seeing.
I think the only reason why she's still there is because the other ladies like Shanice only had Khalil and Cisco. And obviously when Khalil got eliminated, Cisco was already locked in on Taye. So there was no one for Shanice at that time. Deanna, the same. She had no romantic connection, especially when she was asked by Khalil, where do you see us going? And she was like, nah, just staying as friends. He was like, okay, you're not ready to love then. So there are people that have had less connections than Sahara because Sahara's only had one, but she did make an attempt to try and strike something up pretentiously with Jay. So that's what's kept her there. But like I said, in my opinion, I wouldn't. She would have been off a long time ago. She would have been off from the episode 1 or 2.
Well, well. All right. So, all that said and done, what am I missing? What comes after this? Sid? Was it the meetup with
Cam's one-on-one date with Sahara.
Sahara. Okay, we're good right here. Okay, so we're good. Okay, so we got the meet up with Cam and Sahara, where he takes her out on this beautiful boat. They're up at the top of it, and they're overlooking the water in Philadelphia, the skyline, and it's very, very romantic. And speaking of candles, he actually has a gift for Sahara, which is what, like essential oils, and I think a candle, maybe. Um, and they talk. And now, what I don't understand, so maybe you two can help me. What I don't understand is that he goes there with the idea that he wants to clarify some things because he knows that his cousin and his niece both have said that they would put Sahara, they put her in the bottom of those three ladies. So he's kind of like clarifying what it is that he sees in her. Is there something that he's missing? Um, what then happens, JR, on this date? Because I don't quite understand this date.
I don't understand it either. When he first arrived at the date, I thought he was going to tell Sahara, my relatives see you as not really being a match for me, and kind of break the connection, but he didn't. He roped her in even more with candles and scented oils and stuff, hugs. Then they kiss when she's leaving. So again, I just don't understand Cam at all. I don't understand why he's keeping these connections going when Sahara's already said, choose her now, make the smart decision, make the wise choice. She's said so many times, she's ready to be chosen by him. And he hasn't done it. Even here, he's saying he's still into her, but then he's going to go off and tell Rose the same thing. So, yeah, this date was kind of pointless. Other than them kissing, I didn't really see anything significant.
So JR, do you think that maybe on this date, was it the dress, was it the hug, was it the kiss? Do you feel like on this date he got a step closer to deciding for himself whether or not he's gonna choose her? Did you get that feeling?
The only feeling I got was that he's going to ignore what his niece and his sister said.
Okay.
They may see her as the bottom. He still sees hope and potential in her, so he's not going to let her go.
Oh, so he's going to be a grown man and make his own decision?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. But he's not making a decision yet. He's just keeping her there for the bridge, probably.
I mean, hey, he already knows that he got her in the bag. She is his to lose. So again, he definitely is the one to make a decision because as she said, hey, I'm here.
Mm-hmm. And she's been telling him that for the last 3 or 4 episodes. Make a decision. And he hasn't done it. So this could just be a production date just to set things up for the bridge. And obviously meeting her relatives next week.
It did give a little bit of that feel. It did give a little bit of that feeling. Sid, what say you?
Oh, heck yeah, because who they got rid of, and then, it's like one person for everybody. I mean, really. I mean, why aren't we at the bridge already? I keep saying this like 3 weeks now. We can just go to the bridge. We do not need to meet the ladies' families. We do not need to go through this. Go to the bridge and make your decisions. I'm tired. I'm tired of the break. I'm tired of this lag. Let's get to the bridge, get to the reunion, and go home.
What do we need all these stupid episodes for?
Exactly. It's not the city of brotherly love anymore. It's like the city of slow love. It is getting slow to the love.
Well, yeah, when you put that 3-4 month break in the middle, I guess it does seem like a slow burn.
It's like when you take a nap and you take a nap too long and you wake up real sluggish. That's how Philly got me. I am just sluggish, just getting through these episodes like, oh, I just woke up and I slept too long. That's what Philly's doing to me. And I don't want to be like, chuck it in the bin, but I almost want to chuck it over the daggone railing of that boat.
Yeah,
Mm.
I know when I looked at the episodes to come, I'm like, what? We still got this many more? Like
Mm.
that's gonna take us through September.
Yeah. It's like when you go to sleep and you think you've been asleep for a long time,
Yeah,
but you wake up and it's only been 5 minutes. That's how it
right.
goes.
The ongoing Ready to Love episode, the perpetual Ready to Love episode season. Um, okay, so the guys meet up with Uncle Nephew, Cousin Tommy, in the men's lounge, and hilarity ensues. What did you think of this scene? Did we learn anything new, or did we kind of rehash everything that we already knew? Jr.
Well, this is where we find out that Ham also didn't know about Rose's child's father situation, and he looks stunned as well.
Mm-hmm.
And Cisco tried to play Papa Bear and offer some words of wisdom.
Cisco did. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I'm sorry.
Tried to be the granddaddy of the group and say, "Oh well, if what I think is, and then yeah, and then Tommy says, "You know what, Cam? This is on you, bro. You got these 3 girls, and you need to figure out if Rose is withholding that type of information is worth keeping her here on the show, or she's not ready to love." So they left it to Cam to not only go and speak to her about what he just found out, but to send her home as well, if depending on how he felt about it. At least they got him to narrow down his connections finally.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, he's been needing to narrow them down. Like, why all the women? Tommy has suggested to him, you got to just pick one. He said that.
Why pick when I can have all the flavors?
Mm.
I
That's
mean,
the
why choose
thing.
unless I have to?
He can't have all the flavors. You get these 3 women fighting over you, it's going to be chaos.
They're not fighting over him.
No. But I'm saying the longer he keeps them, the more they're going to listen. These personalities are not going to be, you know, um, they're not going to be interested in sharing him for too much longer. I think they're politely airing their frustrations about it, about his indecisiveness. But there's only so much nudging they can do, and he needs to start cutting them down. And we've only got the next episode left before it's the bridge. It looks like so. Yeah, you got to narrow it down to one, and you got like one episode to do it, Cam. So
Is this indicative of how he makes decisions in his love life, that he waits till the last minute?
Exactamundo, he seems indecisive.
He does, and that's irritating to me. I don't know why, but it's irritating.
Because it
And
stands on a man that doesn't make decisions clearly. I mean, that's what it
Yes,
sounds like.
that's what
and
it feels
also
like. Yes.
he also strikes me as someone that does the copy and paste.
Ooh,
Ooh, Grand Rising Queen.
that
Mhm.
that is Shay, Jr. Where'd you come with that Shay? I thought you liked Cam.
No, I don't.
Oh,
Ooh,
ooh, you just like
No,
I thought you liked Cam, Jr.
no.
who
You
do
know
you like?
what?
That's the short list.
Yeah, right. Who do you like on this?
Um, boy,
Do
to
you
be
like
honest,
any of the guys? Because usually you're a guy's guy and you like all the guys because you know it's a little bit of double standard sometimes with you, Jr. Sometimes.
what? Aubrey, listen, edit that part from the replay, all right? So I'm gonna say, as far as the guys, I'm gonna say Khalil and Hussein. seem like the better options for the ladies to date, in my opinion, and then maybe Jay as well.
Okay.
Khalil. Oh my, interesting.
Yeah, I'm surprised. A roofing company owner, VP,
Yeah.
you know,
How
all
did
that
they
stuff.
let Khalil go? Khalil should have been the one that made it to the bridge.
Right.
Especially with all his talents.
Mhm. And he's a vegetarian. He likes to eat the salad.
Oh, I
Hey,
thought you were gonna say he liked to eat something. Never mind.
no, that's exactly what I meant by talents. Okay.
Ah, okay.
Getting late.
That voodoo spaghetti.
The after dark version of Ready to
Hey,
Love.
Mhm.
hey, it's after 2 hours, Aubrey. This is what you get from us.
Who is that? Mimi says I'm with JR. I'm with JR.
I wonder
Meanwhile,
who hitting up. I wonder who hit up Khalil after the show, because that'll be
mm-hmm,
what I want to know at the reunion. Because
mm-hmm.
Khalil said he was checking for Rocky. Remember?
Oh, on the TV guide, if you will. I'm old school, right? Okay, so it says that we're gonna find out on the reunion who Rose ended up with. And it sounds like it's gonna be a little bit of a doozy. So I don't know.
Okay, that's good.
I'm just saying. I don't know. So, okay, so after the guys gathered together and they kicked it around with Tommy, and Tommy gave his best advice, as he always does, okay? We end up with Rose and Cam out at the elimination dinner. And it starts off friendly enough with Cam being very poised and saying, look at his arms, look at those biceps. Cam saying, listen, uh, my boy, you didn't let him know, you didn't let any of us know about your ex, about his incarceration situation. Do you think that was fair? And so Rose comes back with, what you know what? While we were at the getaway Cam, you knew that I was sharing a room with Hussein, but you never told me that you were sharing a room with Sahara. And I was kind of like, is it just me? Or didn't everybody kind of see where everybody was going at the end of the night? Like, did you not? How did you not know that? You knew he wasn't sharing a room with you, and you were in his room, and you knew that he had someone he was sharing a room with. So, how did she miss that? Jr., can you help me?
Man, she didn't miss it. She was trying to deflect from why he's mad at her for not knowing about her situation. So her clapback was, well, you held something back from me. You were rooming with Sahara. And he rightly said to her, well, listen, you were booed up with Hussein. So what does it matter? You weren't thinking about what I was doing while you was with Hussein. So no, she tried it. And I'm glad he smacked that down.
He did.
That's a double standard. Everybody talk about, yeah, JR, yeah, double standard. No. Rose, just
You
display the
saw
double standard. Yeah, I'm going to check the comments to see how many people said Rose
that?
has a double
Well, here's
standard.
here's one. Babs, Babs, Babs. Um, okay, so what about you, Elsie? What did you think when she brought that up? Like, was she for real or what?
She was taking a dig because he came at her in her thought process, and now she taking a dig at him. It's like, okay, you knew where I was sleeping, but you never told me. It's like, but you knew. Everybody knew people were sharing rooms. Everybody knew. We knew on here that people were sharing rooms. So what the heck are you talking about? Do I have to say everybody have to stand here and publicly tell everybody who we share in a room with?
Right,
Exactly.
because if you're interested in the person, I mean, it would behoove you to kind of suss out and find out who
See,
that person is sharing a room
you
with.
lucky Cam is slicking them out like me, and I'm like, yes, you had to have known when you brought me them shirts You must have seen Sahara's, luggage in the daggone room.
Exactly.
And the underwear on the floor.
Oh, there was underwear on the floor already.
He's just throwing shade.
Oh! I see what you're saying.
Whose underwear did she think it was? That's the interesting thing.
Well, everybody, here's the thing. When we get to these getaways in this particular season, I didn't really see a lot of it, so it was kind of throwing me off. But every other season on Ready to Love, when we get to the getaway, even if you don't see or know who's rooming with whom, what you do see is in the common space, you see folks kissing, necking, darn near smexing. You see the connections, the physical connections. So how do you miss that? How do you miss that? You're a grown person and you're walking around this house. How do you miss that Sahara and Cam are together? How do you
Because
miss
I'm in
that?
Hussein's face.
Yeah, but
Oh,
also, weren't there ladies' discussions, like ladies' room, where they were doing eliminations as well? So what were they talking about the retreat then? Like,
JR, I got you one better. This year they were actually all in the same vehicle together. The little
Mhm.
love bus, right? And who was
Yeah.
sitting next to Cam? Sahara, hugged
Mhm.
up. Come on.
Yeah.
You have to
Exactly.
be a rocket scientist.
Mm. Yeah, Rose was
So
just trying to be petty.
yeah, Rose was being a little petty, and Rose surprised me because I thought she was a little more mature than the way she came off at the end. But I could see that she was a little bit surprised maybe that they didn't keep her and she didn't get to do the bridge scene.
Mm.
But I'm very curious to find out at the reunion who it is that she ended up with, because apparently she ended up with someone. So maybe she went back and got Khalil. You think? El
Could
Cid.
be.
I would.
I know I would have too.
But the other thing that Rose did was she kind of said, listen, it's about time you choose. She said, it's about time you choose me and someone else, and let the other connection go.
Right.
That was interesting.
Oh, and then he did. He did let
Yeah.
one of his connections go, huh?
And it was her. It was her.
Ooh, not the clapback, not the clapback, El Cid. Well,
So maybe Sahara's candles are working to save her.
Maybe that's all that's saving her.
Yeah, maybe it's a little voodoo going on too, but who
Yeah.
knows?
If we went for them candles, she might be home.
She might be home. It might have been her instead of Rose.
Mhm.
Okay, I gotta bring this up one more time. I know we kind of discussed this ad nauseum, but I gotta ask this: is it really a big deal? Was the big deal more so that Rose did not disclose to the men that her ex was incarcerated, or was it more so just the whole entire fact that she has an ex who's her father of her child who is incarcerated? What do you think, JR?
I think it's a bit of both. I think it's both because Cam, he's obviously said things to the effect of, I can't have drama affect my work, So I think it's a bit of the child's father being incarcerated. Other part of that is, why didn't you tell me? If I'm supposed to be a top connection for you, why did you disclose it to Hussein and not me? Because this is the second time that someone's disclosed something to someone else and Cam is finding out afterwards. So I think he's kind of like, yeah, if you thought I was a valued connection, you should have disclosed this. Why hide it?
What do you think, Elsie?
I think
Is
it's a
it
combination of not telling and then time and place, telling me in front of my family. It embarrassed me that I don't know something that significant. So then it leads to, what else in your life do you think is not significant that I may deem as significant enough to know?
And you know what else happened that was interesting right here?
what's that?
When she went with Hussein on their one-to-one date after she met Hussein's family, she
Mhm.
apologized for not telling him previously. When she's here with Cam, she said she doesn't need to apologize.
She clearly likes Hussein better.
Exactly. And when she was tearful after being sent home, she did actually say that she puts the blame for this firmly on Hussein. Because he should have,
He
should
should have
stood up.
saved her. He should have saved her.
Mhm.
Hey, she looked good enough in that black and white dress to be saved.
She did. She really did. She really, really did. But I don't know. Hussein has not seemed like he was that attached to Rose or anybody else this season.
Anybody. He could go home. He probably like you could vote me home and send me home.
I think they wanted the tall, well-built men to make it to the bridge this season. They said, "No, you're staying."
The dark
Hussein.
chocolates. I ain't mad at it. It's the dark chocolate season on Ready to Love for the Men.
It is. You're right about that. It is. Oh my goodness. Guys, what do we see coming up for next week? Because y'all tell me. JR.
Well, usually they have 3 couples going to the bridge, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
So at the moment we have Taye and Cisco.
Right.
We have Jay and Kiera. We have Hussein and Angie still there. And we have Cam and Sahara. So one of these couples is not going to make it, I don't think. Well, not in terms of success. I think, one couple has to be chopped before the end.
Do they? Because Angie could pick between either Cam or Hussein. It could be back in a woman's hands.
Yeah, well, Hussein is going to be readily available, but next week, isn't it a guy's turn to be eliminated?
I don't think they should. I just need us to get to the bridge. It ain't supposed to be any more elimination. Why are we eliminating?
Yeah,
get us to the bridge, y'all.
There's going to be one more elimination.
But why?
Because they meet the family next week.
Okay, and then what happens if we send home a man? Then what are we left with?
Then a woman has to go home. She has to self-eliminate because there ain't enough connections. Or Cam has to choose one and let the other one go home.
You can't choose one. The men chose this time. The women have to choose next time.
No, I said
it makes no sense.
No. So what happens is, first of all, you have to eliminate one of the guys, which will most likely be Hussein. If what you say is true, he has no other connections, right?
He has Angie.
Who's gonna take Angie to the bridge then if Hussein gets eliminated? Like what?
Angie has Cam and Hussein.
Right. You should just let the 4 of them go to the bridge.
Cam has Sahara. What are you talking about?
Right. But I'm saying if Angie decides to go with Cam instead of Hussein, and Sahara decides to go with Cam still has to choose between those 2 women.
Understood, but it's like, can we just get there?
Yeah, but as you said, they're not trying to make us get there quick.
And then there are going to be 2 episodes for the reunion. I mean, I'm tired.
I don't even see why the reunion needs 2 episodes. Why does the reunion need 2 episodes? It really doesn't. They
always do 2 episodes for the reunion.
I know they do, but we don't. Dragging it on even more.
We have questions. We have a lot of questions, like the hiatus foolishness. We have questions. It's going to be 2 hours for the reunion.
Yeah, but we don't get to ask the production.
And who's gonna host it? Is Tommy gonna host it this year?
I'm sorry. Well, he does, like every year. I think I would love another host that knows the show. Bring in Keisha Knight Pulliam. I love her. But
that's what I say.
Cam is giving me more and more, why is production always pushing him front and center? He's almost like the most elimination dater of Ready to Love this season. Every time Sahara's on the bottom, it's almost every time Cam is the one sending somebody home or at an elimination date.
Well, I think no couples last till the reunion. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, I don't think nobody together.
Right. So waste of time this season.
I don't think the bus passes by where Taye lives. Okay.
And supposedly Cisco is already remarried to someone, not anyone from Ready to Love. So that's what the streets are saying. I don't know. I don't know. Well, guys, JR, tell the people where they can find you and what you're doing on your different platforms.
You can find me on YouTube doing reviews like this.
Mhm.
Got a couple of shows coming up, but I'm here for Ready to Love right now, seeing how it pans out for these couples. As I say, I don't see any couples lasting till reunion, but it's still going to be interesting to see who picks who at the bridge. IG, you can find me on JRX TV on Instagram.
All right. And El Cid, tell the people what you got going on. She's got a lot going on.
Yes,
folks.
I have a lot going on. I am lsid932 on YouTube. Please check out my channel. I do a lot of shows. I do Ready to Love here with Aubrey. On Mondays is my member lives, where we get 18 and over conversations. Okay.
Oh my goodness, they're spicy. Let me tell you.
Tuesdays it is Match Me Abroad with actually Aubrey here. Wednesdays I cover King's Court. Now this Wednesday starts Love is Blind France. I am covering that show. I'm doing recaps and lives on the weekends. And also Love is Blind Brazil season 5, which is for the over 50 daters. And
Yay!
there's one lady with over 10 cats, and there's a man who has 2 kids the same age that are not twins. Okay, so these 50 and over daters are going to give us some spice in Love is Blind Brazil. Also on Fridays I have Elcid Unscripted, where we talk about whatever the chat wants to talk about. It's a good time. We cover a year in music. We do all kinds of stuff. I also cover Project Runway, where we talk about and grade the fashions from that week from the show. And last but not least, on Sundays, I do unsolicited advice, where I let you know somebody out there is asking for advice. And we give our unsolicited advice. It goes from mild to he ate all the food I cooked and left nothing for me, all the way to spicy that, hey, just like a squirrel, I can't get a nut. Okay? So that's unsolicited advice. So I have a long week. My calendar for this week is in my community wall, and I hope to see you all around. Okay? Yes, Law Roach is a mess, but we are even messier when we cover it on Saturdays at 5:05 EST.
Yes, and that's it, guys. Thank you so much for all of you that said you enjoyed the show. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for those of you that clicked like. Those of you that didn't, I'm going to light a candle in your honor. Okay. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Follow and like and subscribe to my guest, El Cid 932 and Life is Reality. You guys, you have to do that. And we're going to shimmy and shake on out of here, right, guys?
Yep, it's time.
Shimmy and shake.
Shimmy and shake. Here we go.